Hey, this is Jonathan, and before I get started into the research here, trying to figure out that error that I was running into last time, I just wanted to give a quick update about the filler algorithm. So, last time I mentioned that I had a fix for everything and I was using an RC. I don't need that RC anymore. What I've done is I eliminated the two calls to clone that I had here. And so now I don't need to use clone at all, so I don't need RC, which is great. It also reduces boilerplate down here, and also just makes these values look a lot nicer. I don't need to add in the extra closure for no reason, because I mean that closure that was here wasn't even being used for anything. It was literally just a dummy closure, just to satisfy the filled location. So yeah, some changes that I made were changing filled location to its location ID. The linked hash set now doesn't hold locations, it holds location IDs. I realized that the only place I need these accessible is right here anyway. So what I could do was simplify this code here. So instead of doing the clone, I just, for the remaining locations, store the location IDs. And now that does have an effect on the fast filler, because the fast filler now only has to take location IDs. Well, that's fine, because fast filler doesn't care about the condition. It doesn't care about this closure. So the fast filler can just simply take location IDs and then just fill. It doesn't have to do anything special or anything else. It just fills locations, and yeah, we just get a list of filled locations back, which now looks like this. And it's just way, way cleaner. So yeah, this is I'm reasonably pleased with this, because it's a lot cleaner. It's also more efficient because I don't have to do the RC. I don't have to do the reference counting anymore. I'm just literally having these boxes, these box closures. So yeah, that's pretty satisfactory to me. I know maybe there's like a small chance I could get rid of this box entirely and I don't have to box the closures, but you know what? This is fine. I don't really care. It doesn't mean enough to me to actually go out of my way to try and fix that. In addition, I was thinking about changing the items here to not be an enum anymore as well. That still hasn't changed yet. What I could do is I could have it be a tuple struct that holds one item, and that item is just like a name or something. I could just like pattern match on the name, or just like check for a certain name. And equality checks would still work roughly the same. That's something I'm considering, but it's not really that important. And it certainly won't have as large of an effect as changing location like I did here. So yeah, all this stuff is still roughly the same. I just removed the clone from location. What else? The other thing I wanted to say was these items aren't necessarily unique. As you can see, like, these are all the same item. So I was also considering maybe moving away from vectors, but then I decided against it because, well, you're not necessarily going to have unique items. So this felt like the best compromise. Have this be vectors, or these items be vectors, and then have the locations. Well, okay, to be fair, this is also a vector of locations, but the reason why I did that, and I know it's kind of silly because it is less efficient, but the reason I did that is because the fillers use these linked hash sets, and I didn't want to expose the linked hash set outside of that. I didn't want the caller of progression filler to have to know about that, or the caller of fill locations, rather. I just wanted them to be able to use a vector of locations, pass that in, and just transparently it would convert it into a linked hash set for usage in the algorithm here. And that's it. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I've done so far with this. I feel reasonably happy with this, and I think it's about time to move on. I will have to blog about this at some point, because this was kind of my plan for the next blog post. So I'm going to be writing that up today, hopefully. Or, well, part of it today and maybe a bit of it tomorrow even. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes. But yeah, I feel really happy about this. And yeah, the only thing I would change maybe is, well, these asserts, I might do something different instead of doing the debug asserts. And these panics, I'm okay with the panics for now, but in the future, you might want to change this to like a result or an option. Probably a result, honestly, where this returns result, and I can just extract the result from it, or fail if there's some kind of error. So yeah, I'm reasonably pleased with everything that has happened so far, and I'm gonna just try and pick up where we last left off with the UI. So I still haven't figured out what's wrong with all this. So this is gonna be more research again. What else? No, I haven't really made any other progress, so we're just gonna have to go back to testing out the Mini-rando again. One thing I noticed is that compiling this project takes... Well, okay, it didn't get stuck this time. For some reason, last time I tried compiling, it actually got stuck on the first line. Like, I never even got the warnings, so that's kind of interesting. I really would like to know what's wrong, though, like why it's not able to load the RON files, the prefabs. It's not something that is made particularly clear or obvious. So, yeah, this missing field channel thing is super not helpful. Let's see if anyone else has run into this. Nope. Alright, so if this hasn't been seen at all... What? What are you doing? Okay, do I have to, like, escape the quotes? I don't know, whatever. Yeah, no one else has seen this. It's not really a surprise to me, to be honest, because Amethyst isn't, like, that big. It isn't, like, something that everybody's using, and that there'd be a lot of Googleable results for, so, considering it's so new. And I don't know if other people have run into this issue or not, because maybe they know what they're doing, and I don't. But, I mean, well, I figure eventually I will get there. I will get there. It's gonna take some time, okay? Alright. So, I have the UI event handler system. It didn't really do anything. Doesn't have any dependencies. The error I'm getting says I should use a non-unit progress. That doesn't seem like it's going to be the right thing to do, considering what the examples for Amethyst show. But I will try it if push comes to shove. That's certainly something I could try as like a workaround for my issue. I'm okay with workarounds, like temporary workarounds, because eventually I'll come up with a way to fix it, I'm sure. I like to look back on things that I've done and try and fix them, make them nicer, so... I certainly think that it's something I will revisit if I do end up using that workaround. What am I looking at? Oh yeah, I was looking at RC here, trying to figure out if that was the best for my use case. I can safely close this now, I think. This is not really useful. Let's see. Right, example. So it's looking for some kind of field channel, which I don't have. I don't have it. I don't know where you'd get it. It's not something that I've really thought about. Does init output do something special? No, that was for the audio, right? So if that has to do with audio, I don't think there's anything special I have to do there. What am I missing? Is it this? Do I need to do like a handle event for the UI events, or... No, it doesn't look like it, because this is a trans none. Unless there are some magical side effects caused by the logger, which would be kind of silly, then, I mean, yeah. Let me think. Okay, I see that there's a write storage here. So is there a write happening? UI text. It seems like it's actually getting it from the storage, from the write storage. It's not actually... It looks like this is actually more of a read than a write. data to update. Self.fps display is none. This might be it. Maybe I need to do this. If I implement update, it'll be happy. I'm not really sure. Because, yeah, what else is there? All that's left is literally just this. It's also kind of cold this morning. Input bundle. No. FPS counter bundle? Maybe? Is the FPS counter even something that was in the prefab file, though? Oh yeah, okay. No, it is in here. So maybe. Maybe that's what I'm missing. But it says it failed to parse the RON file. How could it fail to parse the RON file? That's what I want to know. Yeah. Failed parsing RON file. Ugh, this is so silly. No, that's not important, but this probably is important. Oh, it's rusty object notation? It's not rust object notation, it's just rusty object notation? Really? That's just silly. Oh, hello. Yeah? 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 Nope. That's not my issue. Gosh, darn it. Can you read the API docs? Damn it. Thanks. Thanks, Jojo. Learning from examples is more interesting for noobs like me. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I'm an idiot. I need examples. Please. Give me working examples. Okay. Well, this guy apparently had to use the latest version, so maybe they've made some updates. Yeah, you know what? I never even thought about trying that, you know? 0.9 has been out for like maybe a week or so. I've unread notifications, really? Oh. Eh. What am I thinking? I don't know. I should just go into the releases, go to 0.9. I should try and figure out how this works. He said read the API docs, you know, I'm really tempted to do so. Another unread notification, really? I don't care. You know what? Forget it. Let's just ignore those. They're not important. It's really cold in here. I feel way too cold. Another problem with this recording setup, I guess. What was I doing? I wanted to browse the files because I want to know what that example looks like back then, in the past. Did they update this recently? Because if they did, then that might explain why I can't load this stuff. If they didn't, well, they don't necessarily have to update this. If they update the RON file, then yeah, then we have a problem already. So let's look at the assets. Six days ago, yeah. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Example.ron. Okay, so it said he was looking for channel. There it is! See? I'm an idiot. I should have just looked there to begin with. Yeah, I should have been looking here to begin with. Wow, that's my bad. They're using channel sRGB. And That's the game changer. See, that's why it was failing to parse. So, well, the moral of the story is I'm an idiot, and I never learned my lesson. Simple button can stay, complex buttons can go. And we need to get rid of all those endings again. That's right. Let's just look for slashes that are non-comments. Wait, no, go back, go back, go back. Alright, I think now we're in business. Yes, okay, let's just do a quick sweep just to make sure no other paths are left. Alright, good. Very happy with that. Nice. Now, let's go. Yeah, look at that! We got stuff. It's ugly. I click the button, it doesn't do anything. Oh, dear. Oh, whoa! Do you what? It's... Whoa! It's responsive. Why? Is that important? Do games typically need that kind of functionality? I mean, it's kind of cool that you're able to do that, though. Whoa! Wow, look at that. That is so cool. Oh, I love this. This is so cool. I don't like the font, but, like, this is pretty cool. Actually, you know, that font's, I guess, not the worst thing ever. I don't know, this is kind of ugly. Just, like, you see this part, and that kind of, I don't know, like, I understand they're going for, like, a block text look, but I don't know. Yeah, I think, like, the mixture of this, like, kind of almost rounding with the blockiness. Yeah, it doesn't quite look digital enough for it to have that kind of aesthetic that you'd think that's... Okay, you know what? I'm done criticizing how the font looks. Let's just not. I'm not an artist, so maybe I don't really have any place doing so. Anyway, ooh, look at that. Look at that. Man, that's crazy. If I shrink this down, it doesn't recognize the button anymore. Okay, that's weird. So it has to do with the size of the UI. Oh yeah, see, this button doesn't think I'm using the button anymore until I stretch it up to a certain point. I think I have to stretch it all the way until top left shows up before, yeah, okay. So that's a little bit weird. But ultimately, I don't think I'm going to have this kind of like responsive UI thing going on. So this should be okay. And yeah, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. This is cool. This is surprisingly yeah, this works surprisingly well. So, oh boy, now I have to figure out how I'm going to make all this stuff look nice and turn it into a real game. I'm a real boy now. It's funny how, like, not even that long, like 6 days ago they changed that, and then suddenly this is gone already. Like, man, so quickly does everything change. That's why I don't want to try and keep up to date with Amethyst's master branch, because yeah, this is exactly the kind of annoying issue that's just going to keep popping up. So yeah, the next release, 0.10, that's going to be another, that's going to be a bunch of changes again, I'm sure. I feel bad for the people who are working on the editor then, because they probably also are having to deal with all these changes quite frequently. And that probably sucks for them, especially because it's a completely different. It's like a separate project entirely. It's like a sister project. Eventually, they'll stop having to make these breaking changes because they're gonna be in 1.0 at some point, at least presumably, if they want to be taken seriously as like a production ready engine. And this won't be a big problem anymore. But until then, this is just gonna be an annoyance every like month or so, I'm sure. Unless they up more frequently, which would suck. Because then yeah, I'm gonna be hassled quite frequently then. Anyway, I don't need the Amethyst logo anymore. Actually, I don't need that. I never needed it. Container. So container seems to be like a sort of like top level element. It has like children. It's sort of like a parent node type thing, and containers contain containers. And those, or I guess like images. So I guess an image would be a type of container, or a text would be a type of container, or a sub-container. I don't know, or maybe they're just like sibling elements and you can just kind of treat them all as children. So this polymorphic type of thing. I'm a-okay with that. Oh yeah, and here's a button. A button. I don't know how it has that kind of a responsive design thing going for it, though. That's kind of cool. I'm really surprised that it just works like that. It doesn't work the way that I thought it would at all. And that could be useful for like if you were to port your game to like mobile, maybe, so something to think about at least. Plus, I think they're trying to integrate WebAssembly. I remember someone saying that on the Reddit thread, I believe. So that's also really cool. So you can make like web games with Amethyst, like super duper cool little engine. And I'm really excited to see where it goes in the future. Let me think. I don't care for this text, but I might want to keep some. I need to keep some text at least if I want to, have like clickable buttons and stuff. I guess I should try and make my own text file, or I guess font file, TTF, true type font. Editable text single line, really? Huh. Unfortunately, that's not really useful for me. Unless I want to add seed entry. That could be good for, well, I'm trying to think, like, do I want it to be text, or do I want to do, like, I don't know what the Zelda rando does. I've never actually, used it. I don't actually play rando. I've watched rando. I should definitely play with that at some point, but, like... See, the thing is, I don't want to actually, like, go and, like, download the ROM and everything. Like, it's just... So, I mean, I have choices for how I can handle seeds. I know that, like, they have, like, the little hash thing when you, open up the game, and that's usually, like, a bunch of little characters. I think they changed it from hash to code. That might have to do with the seed. That might actually be, like, the way that they visually represent the seed, rather than as, like, a jumbled, like, text string. How do other games do seeding? Like, well, because I have other, like, roguelike type games that use, where you can enter in a seed and play, like, a seeded run. I should certainly look at that. Because, yeah, that would be useful. I need to know, like, what format should my seed take here. I don't know if I want this editable text container, is ultimately what I'm thinking. it's definitely something I'm going to consider, though. The problem is, I think most people would want to actually have the ability to copy and paste into the window if they were to do that. Because if like someone provided a seed, it's just so much nicer if you can just copy and paste, right? And if the game doesn't support that, like being able to copy something to your clipboard and then paste it into the game, then yeah, it would. That's not. It's not really desirable. It's just going to be too much of a pain for people to enter in seeds. So I am very, very, very much thinking about that. I might also add like some option to just like share a seed, you know, like through like network functionality. So if you want to like share seeds with other people, you can just like upload it. Or you could do that like the Mario Maker type thing, where you have like those little level codes that are relatively compact. Could work. I'm certainly thinking about it. Yeah, it's there's a lot to think about here. Certainly. This doesn't even account for things like Plando, or as I guess most people call it, the customizer, for making custom seeds, custom games. So yeah, editable text container, not something I'm thinking about right now, but certainly something I need to think about for the future if I want to actually you know, allow users to share seeds and stuff, which I certainly do, because that's sort of the heart of rando, you know. You share the same seed with someone else and then you race. That's what makes these randomizers so fun. So if it weren't for the racing aspect, then yeah. Obviously, in like an online game, everyone will have the same seed, and that's not something you'd ever be able to enter in if you're in a race. But if you just want to like share a seed with someone, then yeah, you could probably conceivably enter in a seed manually. Because if you're playing online and you allow people to just enter in arbitrary seeds, it's not really that doesn't really work very well. So yeah, I'm certainly going to be adjusting certain aspects of how the typical rando would work. I don't really think I need this. What is this anyway, actually? Before I start deleting stuff arbitrarily. This is... I don't know what this is. This is just text. Top left. Oh, this is that text that said top left. That's right. So, interestingly enough, all fonts seems to appear, or like all characters in this font appear the same. They're all capital letters. It doesn't matter whether you have lowercase letters or not. That's just how they appear. It's ugly, but you gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with it when you're using this. You're using this font. Oh, TTF is an argument that's passed in here. So you can, I guess, use different font file formats. It's interesting. TTF is the one I've only seen. It's like the most popular one from all the other games that I've looked at in my history. Which, to be fair, I guess, relatively speaking, compared to other game developers, probably isn't a lot. But, you know, just putting it out there. It seems like that's the most popular one, as well as .ogg. I don't really know why that is. OGG is like isn't that like a lossy format? I guess because it's small enough that it makes it more performant to use .ogg files, but yeah, I don't really know. I have no idea. There's an image here. What is that image? Oh, it's that weird little, wasn't that weird, like, square thing? I don't care. I don't want this. You know, what is this container for? Parenting test. Oh, that's for top right. Huh, okay. Sure, whatever. Yeah, that's definitely that weird little square at the top. I don't need that. All I want are simple buttons. I don't need complex buttons, just simple buttons. Well, actually, I probably do want complex buttons later. But for now, I'm just going to use simple buttons. What is this? FPS? I could use that for some... Oh, well, I don't know. At some point I could use it, but for now I think I'm just gonna ignore it. Because, yeah, ultimately, when your game goes into production, you're probably not going to want your FPS counter to just be kind of sitting there, you know? I mean, if you integrate it in a cool and interesting way into the gameplay, like as like a background element on like some computer monitor or something, like that'd be kind of cool. You know, I'd be totally down with that. That to me seems like a pretty cool idea. But other than that, nah. I've seen things like that done in games, not with the FPS counter, but other aspects like your character's XY position or their velocity and stuff. Like I like it when games do stuff like that. It's kind of neat. It gives you a way to like visualize the parameters, but in like sort of like an artistic, well integrated way that isn't, you know, that isn't necessarily like wrong or out of place in the game world. Like maybe it's just some computer that like is spewing out random numbers, you know, like just random numbers on the monitor, but but they actually have like actual meaning to you, like the player or the developer who's like testing the game. So like that's really, really cool when developers do stuff like that. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. What's this multi-line thing? Multi-line drifting? Don't think I need that. And it looks like they're okay with this little comma at the end type thing. I love it when languages are okay with that, because it just makes life so much nicer. You can just leave a comma at the end and it doesn't complain. That makes me very happy. Oh yeah, there's anchors even. This is basically like HTML, isn't it? This is really cool. This is done like a lot better than I've seen in other engines. Well, certain engines, anyway. Yeah, this is really surprising. It's well done. Instead of having the text be simple button, it could be like start game, right? Kind of curious to know how that looks. It's XY position's probably like outside of the world, and I don't want it to be. So what's tab order? Oh man, yeah, I wanna look at the documentation for this. Where's the API docs for this? Someone show me how this is supposed to be formatted, because this is really cool. Would it be here? Holy cow, 168 people online now? Jeez. Yeah, like at night it's like 100 people. In the morning it's like 168, like gee. And it's, yeah, well, it is a weekend as well. Though to be fair, some people work on weekends, so I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, damn, this engine feels so much better to use than Piston did. Because I have worked with Piston in the past, and just, I don't know. I was able to get some stuff working with Piston, just it wasn't very easy. It's gonna be hard to use at times. Documentation, cool. Honestly, it's a lot easier to use than piston, I think. In personal opinion. I think other people would obviously disagree, but I just kind of prefer amethyst. That's why I'm using amethyst. Let me think. Where? Yeah, that's a call for contribution. That's not really important. Maybe it's under animation or rendering sprites. That could also be it. Maybe in resource. I'm kind of curious. Fetching a resource in resources. Okay. Yeah, okay. Right, so resources can be resource any type that stores data that you might need for your game and that is not specific to an entity. Yeah, okay. It's global to the whole game and isn't owned by any entities, so yeah, you can put it in a resource. Yeah, that's fair. Makes sense, makes sense. But you could make like a scoreboard entity and then add it as a component, you know? Ever thought of that? Anyway, that's it's not important. Oh, you can even do interpolation of animations? Dude, this is cool. I mean, it's a very basic feature that every engine should support, but still. That's still really cool. Oh wow, you can get like options like Catmull ROM and cubic splines and linear. Yeah. Very cool. Alright. Yeah, okay. Okay. What's Gltf? I don't know what Gltf is. I have no idea what Gltf is. GL as in like OpenGL? Don't know. API docs, hey. Bring me there. Apparently that's a place where I can look to understand stuff. Okay, this is a little too fine-grained. Can I go up a level? Or no? Maybe I need to know amethyst renderer, maybe? Or assets? Maybe assets. You think assets would have it? Well, let's just look at this for now. I doubt the renderer would have what I'm looking for. I could be wrong. That's entirely possible. And since they're using Rust object notation, I bet that button will appear somewhere as like a struct or something somewhere. Yeah, I don't think it's in here, but it might be somewhere else. It might be in assets. RON format? Yes, this is kind of somewhat it's somewhat. It certainly is. It certainly is. Oh yeah, there's a source thing, which I wasn't able to use earlier for some reason. I don't know why. It's okay. It's fine. I can deal. I can deal. Add the data for this prefab onto the given entity. I wish they'd have documentation somewhere. Like, I know they said that there is documentation. I just don't know where it is. There's documentation for the RON file stuff floating about. Just need to find it somewhere. Wow, look at this. Look at this! Look at this! That's a lot of prefab data. Generics. This goes to T. This probably goes to U. Okay, so it's just like an increasing number. Is this like the rule of 22? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I guess if you counted this, that'd be 22. So that's 21 arguments there. I guess they felt like that was enough. They didn't need more than 21. So that's why this is the way that it is. Unless they're also counting this as like 22. Because Scala has a rule of 22. I know this isn't Scala, but Scala has a rule of 22. Or at least it did have a rule of 22 where you could only have like 22 arguments in like a tuple. And then they changed it so that they're like recursively defined, so you didn't have to do like stuff like this. Or like there wasn't this limitation anyway. But yeah, I'm just looking at this and thinking this is kind of silly. It just looks kind of silly. I understand why they're doing it this way. But yeah, man. That certainly is a thing. I can certainly see this changing in the future, because that's a lot of generics. Yeah. More type parameters than you can shake a stick at. Let me think. Where do I go from here? Where's this documentation, man? You could have just gave a link. Would have been nice. I've been okay with that if you gave us a link, you know? Man. Okay. So if they're not going to give us documentation, we're just going to do it this way. That's not what I was hoping for. What do I need to look up? Well, oh wait, this is, here we go. Button and builder, source/button, source/button rs. Hello, jackpot, right? Or is this a different kind of button? That's a different kind of button. That's a mouse button. I want a UI button. Oh yeah, there's a button folder, and then there's like a button. Oh yeah, here's where UI buttons are defined. Okay. Use a prefab or UI button builder. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's exactly what I was hoping for. This is my documentation. It's under Amethyst UI. Ah, of course. That's where I should have been looking. Duh. Not Amethyst assets or renderers. I should have been looking at UI. It's because these are UI elements. I'm an idiot. Again, as usual. Not that it really matters, because I have the source code at my disposal, which is nice. Am I gonna read all this? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. What am I looking at? What am I looking for? I'm looking for tab order. Where is tab order defined? Nope, tab is not mentioned here at all. Is tab mentioned here? No? Tab? Oh yeah, tab is mentioned here. Default tab order is 9. Okay. What is tab order? Okay. Set button tab order. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool and all. What's a tab order? Unwraps are safe because we create the entities inside. Yeah, but like, you shouldn't use unwrap anyway. You should try and avoid unwrapping when you can. Because what if someone changes stuff later and they don't change and they forget to like update the unwrap, you know? You should structure your code so you don't need unwraps. I don't know, that's my nitpick of the day. So tab order is not a thing that tab order HTML. Okay, this is an HTML thing. I'm looking up HTML stuff now. Yay! I'm learning about HTML when I never thought I ever would during this project. I wasn't expecting to have to learn to be a web developer today, but there we go. So it specifies the tabbing order of the element. 1 is first. What does that mean? Links with a specified tab order. What? Why would 9 be the default then? This is tab index, right? Is this the same tab order? Am I crazy? When the tab button is used for navigating. What does 9 mean? Why is 9 special? Is 9 a special value in HTML or in like game development or something? 1 is first. Is this not the same thing? What if I change the tab order? Oh wow, look at that. They do mix it up. No, wait. That doesn't change the order of the elements though. Oh! Wow. Okay, so if I press tab, the first one it goes to is not the one that I thought it would. It goes to 2, then it goes to 3, then, okay, what if I go back? Okay, yeah, shift tab gets me to the Google one. Okay, so tab order is the order in which you get to elements when you press the tab button on your keyboard. That is really silly. Okay, now I understand what this is. And now I also understand that I don't give a crap about this. This is not something that I expect users to ever use realistically. So, well, I mean, maybe someone doesn't have a mouse or something, you know, and they need to press the button in the game. I don't know. If you're playing a twin-stick shooter on your PC, though, it's gonna be kind of hard without a mouse. So, I guess I could add like an arrow key option, you know, like, yeah, I could like make it so you can fire with the arrow keys or like the numpad or something, but yeah, which would give you less control, but would at least allow you to kind of somewhat play the game. I mean, it's certainly an option. I mean, if you look at games like Super Mario 64 DS, that didn't support like more than I think 8 directions, but the game was playable, all things considered, even without the analog stick. It worked. You just didn't have quite the precise movement that you necessarily wanted for every situation, but it was definitely playable, and you could certainly beat the entire game 100%, so can't really say that it was done that badly. Yeah, mouse reactive is true. I guess that just means that it will actually respond to mouse clicks. That's fair, I guess. Like, why would a button not want to be mouse reactive? Wouldn't you want your button to be clickable? Otherwise, you could just like stick an image there, right? Like, not really much point having a button if it's not something you can click. Anchor, I kind of know what anchors are, but yeah. This tab order thing, this is so silly. I can't believe that's actually a thing. I can't believe that's actually in this engine. That's like a built-in feature. Do other engines support this? I bet they probably do, but like that's not something I would expect to see. Oh, and you can give it an ID. Simple button. Let's call it Start Game Button. And since our window size is kind of small, what's our window size? I already forgot. Yeah, this is so much better than the old Amethyst. Like being able to use these prefab RON files is like way nicer. Will I ever actually use the editor? Probably not. Like the UI editor, but yeah, this is what I'm seeing here already is just so cool. Absolutely fantastic. I keep coming back to the filler. I don't know why. I don't have any reason to. I was looking for something specific, but I already forgot what it was. It's not the simple button. This is the Start Game button. It's a very special button. It's not a simple one. Well, it's not a complex one. But I was looking at the display.ron, that's right. It's 500 by 500. So I should stick it not at a negative position. I should probably stick it like, I don't know, 80, maybe 100, 100. Does that sound good? Sounds good to me. Has a width and height, of course. Font size, okay. That's interesting. I can actually set the font size here. That's really nice. Normal text color. It's just black, I guess. It makes sense. Black text on a white button. Normal image. I don't know what normal image means. That's not really... I don't think that's an HTML thing, is it? Yeah, I don't know. It's like, not what I was expecting. Okay. Well, I mean, to be fair, the search terms were not very good. This is not an easy thing to search for. Normal image. It's gonna think like, oh, are you looking for just a regular old image? It could be talking about like normals, right? Like, you know, like post norm text, that type of thing. But well, we'll just run this for now and see what it looks like. Definitely not what I thought it would look like. Why does it start like... Oh, wait. Where did it go? Wait. I don't understand this at all. What if I make this negative? Okay, it's... minus 100? Why? Why minus 100? Where's my x coordinate going then? Yeah, I just interacted with that. What the heck? Okay, so... Wait, oh! This comment is very important. This says minus 64, minus 16. Why? So their coordinate system is a little bit wonky, apparently, or it doesn't work the way that I would expect it to. I was expecting the coordinate system to start from top left. Maybe it starts from bottom right? Would that make sense? It might start from bottom right, and like the positive y values go down. So negative 100 means it flips up. But then 100 wouldn't make sense because, or like this wouldn't make sense because 100 on the x-axis would be like somewhere like here, and then if I were to flip it up 100, then yeah, it would end up more like centered, I think, rather than like way over here. So maybe 100 is from the left, or like sorry, from the right. So we go like 100 over, and then flip up 100. That could be it. One way to check this would be to try a value like 50, for example, on the x. No, that doesn't work at all the way I thought it would. What? Okay, maybe it's relative to like the transform plane or something? Like maybe there's like a big empty plane and like way off on the left here is like, I don't know, 0, and I can't see it. So what if I tried like 150? Okay, maybe. 250? Because it is 500, right? The width of my window is 500. Let's try 500 and see what that does. Okay, yeah, that ends up way over here. Okay, so it is using the center of the button. So 500 is on the other end. 250 would be right in the middle. Okay, I understand. So this specifies where the center of the button should go. So if I pick 0, it's going to be... I'm only going to see the word game, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's the center of the button. Got it. That makes sense. So, I figured it out. So what this means is that this is my x-axis. So the x-axis starts from... At the top left is 0. The top right is 500. And the y values, actually, then it goes negative into the... towards the other side. So if I wanted to go like up and off the screen, I'd use positive values of y. If I wanted to go towards the center, I'd use negative values. So if I want 250 and minus 250, this should be the center of the screen. Yes, I figured it out. Okay, understood. Understood. I get it. Cool. So anyway, yeah, that's... We've managed to get a button to show off at least, and it does react to us hovering over it. Let's just double check that real quick. Yeah, I can interact with it. I can click on it, and it recognizes that. So yeah, we have a button now. That's really cool. I'm very happy with this. So yeah, good progress today. I figured some things out. Got a button showing up now, and maybe we can use it to try and transition to like another game state or something, and see where we go from there.